So today we have my good friend Hardisk. He's at the forefront of AI and content creation. So today we're gonna try to make as fast as possible a video using only AI. So from scripting to generating the videos, the images, the audio, the music, all that in around an hour. We'll see how it takes. So Hardisk, go for it.
All right, so step one is going to be using ChatGPT to generate a script. We're going to ask to be in the 1950s, and we're going to ask it to be of a length of 90 seconds to be told out loud, because the end goal of this is to be read out by another AI called 11 Labs. So I'm going to let it generate. And this is basically like a short movie trailer using modern characters, but in the 1950s temporality. All right, there we go. Cool. So that's the first part done. Now what I'm going to do is use this other prompt, and this prompt is going to generate the prompts for Midjourney to generate the images. So again, because we can't use just one package for everything, because the images generated from ChatGPT aren't that good, and they're not great at imitating specific cameras. So where Midjourney is going to help us, especially because I'm adding in 90s, 50s film screen grab, 1950s Super Panavision 70 film stock, it's going to imitate that camera exactly as it was back in the day. So I'm going to send that over. That's going to take a little bit of time because ChatGPT is generating 20 different prompts for Midjourney.
Can you explain the prompt you wrote?
Yeah, sure. So this one's pretty simple, by the way. So what I've asked it is create 20 image prompts for Star Wars movie trailer. Each image visually represents pivotal characters, story moments, and settings. Physically describe each character every time you mention them. And then I added a lot of different elements here because what I want is I want Midjourney to generate images that look as if they were shot for a movie in the 1950s. So I mentioned a typical camera they used back in the day, 70 millimeter. I want Midjourney to add film scratches, and I want it to be vintage, retro, beautiful cinematography in color. You can add a lot of different parameters here if you want to imitate a specific time period. And then the two parameters here are just, I want the images to be 16:9, so the aspect ratio, and I want Midjourney to use Midjourney V6, which is the latest model. And you can ask ChatGPT to ask those options at the end of every single prompt, which makes it easier to just copy and paste.
Nice. So ChatGPT can call Midjourney?
He can't, but he knows what Midjourney is enough for him to write a prompt that you can then copy and paste 20 times back and forth into Midjourney. Obviously, all of this would be easier. It would be easier if Midjourney had an API we could call, but alas, we're going to have to copy and paste a lot. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Midjourney to generate the images. Let me just pull it up right here. All right, so I'm going to just copy and paste everything here over to Midjourney and see what it comes up with. Now, obviously, like today we're imitating a specific like faceless YouTube type of content to understand how it works. I like to use like those AI tools in my actual YouTube work, but the work we do is assisted by AI, but I don't really believe that AI replaces like the work of actual artists and actual people who do the work. Like especially for us, like we use AI to animate images of historical characters that aren't alive anymore, or to create images of them in action, like while we're describing something that really happened, but we don't have photos of them doing it. And that's great to like enhance the viewer experience when you are making like history type videos. And this is just purely for fun. Like everyone who's going to watch this knows that this isn't actual 1950s Star Wars, but that's why it works, because in that niche, that's what people are looking for. It's mostly just for fun. All right, I'm just spamming them out. Boo, 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 boo. And last one. There we go. All right, so then I'm going to go over, look at what Midjourney generated, and select the frame that I like the best. So while this generates, I'm also going to get ready with the voiceover. So I'm going to use 11 Labs, which is an AI voice generator. I'm going to select text to speech. And there we go. That's an old example I used. I used Chris, which is an English voice right here.
you can choose a bunch of voices they have, and one of them was Chris.
Yeah, you can do pretty much whatever. You can clone your own voice. You can use different like languages they have.
How's the clone of your voice? Is it good?
Not really. Like I'm not convinced about cloning. I need to redo a model. I haven't done one in a while, but we've used it sometimes to fill gaps in editing. It's fine for a few words, but over a few sentences, it breaks down quite easily. So you can also, the interesting thing is you can also choose the tone. So social media, narration, characters, conversational, depending on what you're doing. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
Let's see what George looks like. See, that's narration, but it's more for like ebooks or whatever, because it's a bit too slow for my liking. So I'm going to stick with Chris and copy paste the script here for Chris to speak. All right. So this is what Chris sounds like after generation. It's going to be Star Wars AI. Bada bing, bada boom. Voiceover.mp3. All right. So now that we have that audio, let's finish up with the images. I think Midjourney is done. Let me see. This one was... I like this one because it looks a bit older, but this one is really cool with the character kind of front and center. So I'm going to select that one. So I just click on upscale. It's going to upscale that image. And then I'm going to save it. And very important, I'm going to save it with the frame number that corresponds what ChatGPT's put out. Just so in the editing, I know what is what, because I have 20 images. I don't want to remember everything, especially if I'm doing a lot of them. So that's number 7. Let me save it. And editor, you're going to have a field day, blurring everything every single time I save as. So this is 7.png. All right. Let's see what else. Ray holding, that is number 8. And I'm going to use number 4 again because it doesn't look as much as Ray compared to the other images, but it looks older. I really like the image profile. So that's going to be my pick here for number 8. Let's continue. Poe. Poe is number 9. I'm going to use number 1, even though the neck placement here is a little weird. Again, like I'm preferring the image type and the image feeling over everything. Because most of the time, like since it's edited together with 20 other shots, you don't really realize that there's an issue. And then rinse and repeat for every single frames, basically. So at this step, you would refine your images to make sure they look as old as possible. Because as you can see, Midjourney likes to glitch out and sometimes serve you something that doesn't look really that old, even though your prompt told it so. So you can add negative prompt, be like, don't do that, until you find something. See that, like none of them look retro enough on this one, for example. Okay. All right. So now we have our images, we have our script, we have our voiceover. Next step is going to be to use Runway. And Runway is another AI that does image to video generation. Just a small example here, because that's another demo I ran. All these are images that Midjourney generated, and this is the type of video that we get as an output. So this is what all these guys with these channels use to get video out of images. So now what I'm going to do is go to my dashboard, create a new session, and I'm going to drop in every single frame that we generated together with Midjourney. That's going to create a new workspace. And then from there, I'm going to see what Runway thinks of those images and if we can get some great videos out of them. Stormtroopers listening to orders. Let's click generate. I can also select if I want a 5-second shot or a 10-second shot. I'm going to select 5 seconds, both in the interest of time and also because like in the final video, I'm not really going to use anything over 5 seconds. So it's going to also allow us to have faster generation. There we go. That's, yeah. So when I told Richard, I was down to do like a little demo on how it works. I told him like, it's way more time consuming than people think. And the reason it's time consuming is because you're constantly correcting everything wrong that the AI is doing. So here, you know, he's just cloning himself for 0 reasons, which is fun. Let's see a crowd of stormtroopers. Let's say
Walking.
yeah, sure. Walking slowly towards the camera. Let's try that. So yeah, we're still in that stage in AI technology where like limbs like to appear out of nowhere. It's not really like, so there's a word for this. We call that temporal coherence, because like the frames you generate have to be coherent across all the frames. Runway is pretty good at it, but you know, it's still AI, so you have to overcorrect for it.
Let's see.
Hey, walking's way better.
Oh wow, this is great.
Yep.
This is fucking awesome. Nice.
That's runway for you. See, that's so obviously like if you start looking at the little details, especially here, look at that. Those like feet appearing out of nowhere.
Right.
Like there's still a bunch of stuff, but it's in the background. Nobody's gonna care. So I'm just gonna download it. And so that was number 7. I'm gonna create a new folder, and that folder is gonna contain my shots. 7.mp4. And now we do the best thing of that entire endeavor, which is rinse and repeat for every single frame.
Can you copy paste all images in ChatGPT and ask him to create a prompt for runway?
I'm not sure he's aware of runway, and since
of course
like
he is.
he might, but to what extent? You know what I mean?
And that would accelerate the process here, no?
It probably would. I still like to do it manually just because like AIs are, especially for video, they're really bad at grading other AIs.
Right.
So like he wouldn't be able to see the result and kind of correct for it, which is where like human work is still needed. See, we have a bunch of fingers here.
This is fine.
Yeah, this is probably fine, but we have one too many fingers.
Can you have her swing the sword?
Yes, but we're gonna have more incoherences. Let's see. Like as the more motion you ask of it, the more you risk going into like, you know, another arm appearing out of nowhere or whatever. See, yeah, we can't get her to.
I mean,
it just doesn't.
Swinging.
She's swinging herself, but like she does. I don't think we have enough information for it to actually work the way we would want it to work. Okay. It's fine. Let's take this one. 8.mp4.
Can you do multiple generation at the same time?
I've tried, but it doesn't really want to. I don't think we can right now in that version of Workspace.
That's pretty
That's
good.
great. Yeah, that's pretty good.
That.
We have a little bit of a wardrobe malfunction here on her. Like it seems like the AI really wants her to have half a pants, but I don't think people would notice, so I'll take it.
Yo, this one's good. That's impressive.
Yeah, the motion is really good. We'll see, like, so what I've found is like when the image is very descriptive, it's having a great time generating motion. So like this is actually like a pixel perfect like frame of an explosion in sand. But like if they were both running without any sand in the background, it would have trouble generating sand if you just asked it in the prompt.
Yeah. This one's easy. Ooh. The last second.
I actually like that. The movement isn't natural at all in the beginning, but we can actually cut it out and use it.
6 fingers, classic AI.
Yeah, classic. I don't know why, dude. I mean, like, they need to fix the finger thing. It's been years. I'm gonna load up 2 more and then we'll get into the editing. Let me actually use like this one. And here I'll use not that one, but like the ones that look like the oldest. This one. I'm really impressed by the wave right here. It's surprisingly good. I'll take it.
Beauty.
Boom. I'm gonna use Suno to like generate just the instrumental of like an old sounding movie trailer of a space movie. I'm gonna be nondescript just in case like it does any funny business if I mention actually Star Wars.
What is
so
Suno, by the way, for the viewers?
so Suno, it's a pretty old tool. It's a tool that allows you to create music out of prompts. It's specifically made for music. It used to be made like mostly for like music with like vocals and everything, and now we're able to generate just the instrumental, which is what we want if we're gonna add our own voiceover on top. Space adventure movie. Let's try that.
And what would you say the quality of Suno is? Is it pretty good?
It's so it used to be like mostly for jokes, but it's getting there, honestly. Especially for background music, it's surprisingly good.
Have you used it for your videos?
Yeah, we've used it like for some specific snippets. It's really good. That could work. So this one that we just generated, that works. It sounds a little bit too modern, but I think I can roughen it up in the edits enough for it to look like it's from the 1950s.
Okay, nice. Wow, you created a 1 minute music background.
In like a second. All right, Star Wars AI, Rocket to the Moon is going to be a music. All right, now it's time to put it all together in the edit. Okay. See what we can come up with.
It's pretty straightforward. So all of this will be for about a 30-second video.
Yeah, give or take. We're closer, I think, to 2025 because we haven't done all of the shots. Like the most time-consuming part of this is depending on the quality level you want, right? Are you like just making a joke video? Do you want to like batch a ton of different videos, or do you want to make like something that actually looks cool? And if you do, it's gonna take a little bit because like you saw, we're overcorrecting for the AI's mistakes all the time. So this is like an example of what I did before. I'm gonna get started from that project just because I have a lot of like grunge overlay and stuff I want to add on top of it. New bin. Call it Star Wars. All right, I'm gonna import all of my media. My voiceover, got Rocket to the Moon. Bada bim, bada boom. I need my videos as well. There we go. Let me create a new timeline using all my MP4s. So that would be this one, this one, this one, this one. That's fine. All right, so I have everything here in a timeline. I'm gonna add my voiceover. So usually the first thing I would do, cut the silence in all that audio because 11 Labs like to take a lot of long pauses. So I'm gonna go to my voiceover, generate the transcription. All right, so now I have the transcription, and with that transcription, I can select every single little bit of pauses here where it detects that it doesn't have any audio and delete them from the actual file.
Nice.
So I'm gonna do remove silent portions, and I'm gonna do so. There we go. So now I have the original version, and I also have this version here, which is with the silence removed by Resolve. Thank you, Resolve. And now we can start using it and piecing together our video. Cool. So now I'm doing like a first playback and seeing if what the AI is saying matches up with my footage.
Welcome to the exciting pulse pound.
I'm gonna invert those two shots because at that point the AI says meet Ray, and I want the shot to show Ray when he says that.
In a galaxy far, far away, the age-old battle between good and evil rages on.
So now it talks about Finn, and I want Han Solo. Let me see in our script where Han Solo appears. And let's not forget the origin of the galaxy's greatest hero. So I'm gonna go through that.
Dark warrior obsessed with the legacy of Darth Vader.
That's another copy I had by mistake.
Hero. Han Solo, the legendary smuggler, back in action and ready to guide the new generation.
This talks about Han Solo. I take that. Boom. Put that over here.
In action and ready to guide the new generation. It's a roller coaster of excitement.
All right, I'm gonna cut it right here. Let's see if I can remove a quick sentence just so it matches.
Though she doesn't know it yet, Destiny has big plans for her.
Though she doesn't know it yet, that doesn't serve any purpose. I don't want you to do that. Let's see, do we match up? Close. Let's do that, and the music here. Music here is gonna do the trick for that silent part here. All right, let's add the music. Let me lower the volume a little bit. Maybe 20 is enough.
Wow, crazy.
By the way, for everybody listening, Richard doesn't have any audio, so this is like the, the loneliness he's ever been. All right, I'm just gonna do a quick cut here because I don't like that pause. Even with the music, it doesn't really work. So let me just cut that shot a little bit shorter. There we go. Cool. So then, since we have all of that, we can add some bonus stuff. So what I did for my earliest demo, if I go back to my master sequence here, is that I add a little bit of grunge. So this is something that you can get off of YouTube, funnily enough. YouTube has a lot of overlays like that you can overlay on top of your footage to make something look old or grainy or whatever. If I go back into my timeline here, I can just grab the one I used in my previous project. Boom, and copy it right on top here. Grunge overlay, that's great. Boom. So that's just gonna add like a little bit of like, you know, flickering noise. Let me just zoom in a bit. There we go. See?
Nice. Okay, yeah, and that makes it.
It's just like
type content.
Yeah, you can find a lot like of overlays like that on YouTube and find the one you like. Let me add a little bit more rocket to the moon. I think I can use some audio filtering to make the audio sound older. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to solo that track. I'm going to use an equalizer to try and match what an actual radio would sound like by killing some of the length of the waves.
In a galaxy far, far away, the age-old battle between good and evil rages on.
So that
Welcome to
sounds
the
like it's
exciting,
coming out of an
pulse-pounding
actual
adventure
speaker.
of Star Wars. The Force
It's like an
Awakens.
easy trick you can use. All right, and then let's see. Do I have? I can actually use the same trick on the vocal, on the voice, which is what I'm going to do. That's great. There we go.
In a galaxy far, far away, the age-old battle between good and evil rages on. Welcome to the exciting, pulse-pounding adventure of Star Wars, The Force Awakens. It's a brand new era, but the fight for freedom is as fierce as ever. Meet Rey, a fearless young scavenger from the desert planet Jakku. Destiny has big plans for her. By her side is Finn, a former stormtrooper on the run from the sinister First Order. Han Solo, the legendary smuggler, back in action and ready to guide the new generation. It's a roller coaster of excitement, friendship, and galactic warfare as the Force awakens in this thrilling space saga, a true adventure for the ages.
Wow.
So I think we're pretty much done for a demo. See, like we have a, what is it, 40-second video?
Yeah,
of
nice.
A 1950s Star Wars trailer.
It took you
And
exactly
obviously, like,
1
if
hour.
yeah, if you were like in production, you would take a little bit more time, especially with your mid-journey images, making sure they look exactly like you want them to, and then you would do more shots because here, like you can see, like I butchered the the voiceover a little bit just to make sure like we fit into a time limit. But the tools are there. The process is what it is. It's not the hardest thing in the world. The time-consuming part is correcting for the AI's error and adding your little human touch that's going to make it the best final product you can.
Do you have advice for good prompts to use on ChatGPT and for the script and for the images?
Yeah, so for the script, ChatGPT by default is pretty good at generating something short. I'd say like if you're generating something longer, either use like a tool that is made for that, like subscriber.ai, like you said in the beginning, or try and break it into chunks. So you could ask him like, so we're gonna make like an entire Star Wars scene, write the beginning, and then once you're done, write the middle, and then write the end. So as much broken into as you can, because like ChatGPT works better that way. For the images, there's a lot of resources online about what type of filter you can use on Midjourney. You can also reuse the image ID if you want like the characters to stay coherent between different scenes. That's something you can do. But try and research the era you're trying to emulate, the type of cameras and film that would be used at the time. And you can actually ask Midjourney like, hey, like I said with Panavision, like shot in blah, blah, blah. And add in what you want, because more often than not, Midjourney knows how to emulate it out of the box. You just have to ask him.
And any general tips on using AI for content creation?
It's great. We use it in production, like I said, like to have like, for example, if we're making a video of like the story of George Washington or whatever, we can have George Washington walking into a scene or whatever. It's interesting. I think it adds a lot of production quality for the viewers. I would say like do not jail yourself with AI tools. AI tools should be like something that helps you create cool content, but you should always keep control. Like I would not make an entire video made out of AI generated shots, especially like this niche works that way because it's for the fun of it and everybody knows it's AI. But if you're doing it like incorporating it into production for a YouTube channel that is already existing in a niche, add it in, but make sure you control for errors. And I think that really like the singularity of like human touch plus AI assistance makes for banger videos.
A lot has changed in this past 6 months, right? Where do you think AI will be in the next year mixed with content creation?
So I think where we're going is a new field that has just really begun is AI VFX. I think that's going to change the game a whole lot. So instead of, let's say like, I want to have like the ceiling of the room that I'm in collapse in the background, instead of having to like work in a 3D software for like a week to do an actual like smoke simulation, debris simulation or whatever, I can just ask an AI to dream it up and then, rotoscope myself out of the frame and put that in the background. I think AI VFX is going to be a game changer for a lot of content creators. We've seen a couple of examples that are cool, but not really that, Pika.ai has done a lot of demos that are great, but it's still not really usable in production. So that's
for
something
now,
that,
but maybe in a year,
right? Like, yeah, even less, like maybe like in 3 to 6 months, it's going to be like to a usable level because like the space is moving so fast. And then I think that AI is going to be also much better at understanding what you want and making it look good the first time around. See, like in the example that we tried today, most of them had like 6 fingers, blah, blah, blah. I think, at some point we're going to see the end of that. And we're going to be able to like use AI generated images without having to overcorrect for AI mistakes. And that's going to be an interesting time.
Yeah. It's going to be a crazy time. But the goal of today was basically to show, that in exactly an hour, we were able to create a video, even if it's just 30 seconds. It's pretty crazy that able to do the script, the video, the image and becoming video, the music, all in one go. So, and that will only get faster, which is crazy.
Oh yeah, that's a phrase I love to repeat. This is the worst it's ever gonna be.
True.
I love it because it's like, it tells everything in one simple sentence.
Of course, this is not the best quality content online, but it's just show what's possible and anyone who can use those.
Yeah, like if you want to take that type of content creation seriously, this is exactly the process that those big channels use in that niche to create these 1950s iPhone
Yeah.
or whatever type videos. You can do
I
the
feel-
exact same thing.
I feel it's a good way to practice storytelling as well. Like the whole
For
content
sure.
part. Let's say you want to get into it, but you have never done it in your life.
Yeah.
This is a good way to like just get into the weeds and shoot out videos. Because with quantity is what I always say. Then you get the experience, and then you get better at it, and then you can go to the next level step by step. But this is a good way to start off, just to get your feet wet.
For sure.
Nice. Well, Hardisk, thanks for joining us on the One of 10
Thank you.
podcast. And yeah, let's do this again in a couple months, and let's see where we've improved.
And then see
In the-
where
the
our
AI
AI
world.
overlords.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Well, thanks again, Hardisk, and
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Peace.